Okay, so this is a kind of a bathroom laundry room setup where the client wants this Algot shelf system. It's going to go up here. See some of my initial marks on the wall. All those marks end up being behind the bar. We have the right side bar determined on where that's going to go. The left side bar gets determined by the locations of, actually by the width of the shelf. But here's what's really bad about this, and one of the reasons I recommend just going and getting Home Depot stuff as opposed to this Algot shelf system is that the way they have this, the edges of those have no margin of error for the mounting, which means that if your studs are not exactly that metric width on this, then you're nowhere. Okay. What happens is, so if we're putting holes in drywall and I'm having to use drywall anchors to hold shelves up, they're going to be storage shelves, and they have to be held with drywall anchors, we've got all sorts of problems. Okay. Now the other way to work this is to put boards across here and know that our boards are going to be on studs. That's why I'm going to wait for the client to get back, because that's a recommendation I'm going to make. The way this thing's made is these holes go in their determined locations, and you don't have any other choice on that. Those holes go in their locations, and that's that. Otherwise, we've got to use drywall anchors to put the shelving up. And no matter, I use the best drywall anchors in the business. I use these Toggler brand ones that are the screw-in. I use those on a lot of stuff. They're the best ones in the business, but they're still drywall anchors. And so, in laying out and measuring one of these Algot things, you have to have all of your screw holes perfectly measured and leveled, or else your whole shelving unit's going to go bad. We have the two bars up. A lot of measuring before I put those on rather than first try. But basically, these little things have to go in. You pinch that to get those in. Lock in a downward position. And then these lock on the edge. You see how that locks on the edge? Now, if you go and take that on and off, you're going to run that risk of scratching the paint or bending something. So once that pops down into its spot, okay, you really don't have a lot of margin of error. You do, oops, yeah, a little bit of margin of error, but not much. And if that thing is just 1 millimeter off, then you're not going to get those. But because it's steel, there's a little bit of flex to it. So you can kind of pull those over. But you got to make sure all 4 corner tabs get locked. And again, if there was any error at all in the level and the width of this, you're going to have trouble doing it. But remember, the steel is slightly flexible. You can kind of wiggle that a little bit to get it to go. Important thing is these little plastic covers, because that's what keeps this from rocking upwards. See, there was no locking tab. There's no locking tab at the front. So what's going to keep that from rocking upward when there's weight on it is these little plastic covers go on. That goes all the way in the rear, right? Goes all the way in the rear, and then this thing actually snaps in place. Oops, gotta flip that around. That one goes in all the way at the rear. It snaps in place, and that's what keeps the little metal things from flexing back out of their little track. So these all snap into place, and that's what holds that. Okay, because remember, we pinched that together to get that in and out. Now, with that snapped in place, that won't pinch together anymore. And so that's the Algot shelf system. Now, this is a really short video, but I can tell you these little shelf systems are pretty complex. Now, a big part of this is getting the width on your 2 vertical bars at exactly, look at this, 24 2/8 inches. Well, you can tell metric people are doing that. 61.6 centimeters. So that's not really an exact measurement, metric or English. So you got to double check, triple check that. Now, in using these 2-piece drywall anchors, I'm using a small side there. Fortunately, by checking everything with a level and a tape measure, making sure our up and down and our left and right. I was able to get that on the first try, but that was doing a lot of stopping and measuring and double checking, triple checking before locking everything into place. And I was able to get that in the first try. Deceptively complex, but that's how it looks when everything's snapped in.